Senate File 1329, we call it the wage theft bill. And I thought it would be important before I have Commissioner Peterson talk, is to put this in context. Roughly 2.9 million people in our state leave home every day for work with the expectation that they would be paid. Minnesotans work hard to support and provide for themselves, their families, and communities, which in turn helps build our economy. This is also important to me because I have a son who just turned 16, and he is working, and so I'm really talking to him a lot about the importance of work and expectations. And even when we think in terms of the 2.9 million people in our state who leave home each day for work, yet every year at least 39,000 workers have their wages stolen from them. So when you think in terms of that $2.9 million, we know that every year 39,000 workers have their wages stolen from them. And those workers are young people, college-age people, high schoolers, and those who are providing for their families. So wage theft is an employer's failure to pay an employee wages they are entitled to and owed. Wage theft can happen in a variety of ways, but here are a few examples. An employer refuses to pay their employees for work performed. That's one example. Another example is an employer violates minimum wage, prevailing wage, and overtime protections. Or an employer makes unlawful paycheck deductions, or an employer coerces employees to work off the clock, or an employer misclassifies employees as independent contractors to avoid paying workers' compensation and unemployment insurance. Those are just some of the ways in which wage theft occurs. I know that's not an exhaustive list, but I wanted to give you a sense of what we're dealing with. And so the goal of this bill is to ensure the following. Wage theft is clearly defined in statute as an employment practice that is illegal in Minnesota, so having a definition is important. Workers know who they are working for, what and when they will be paid. Having that expectation, having some clarity, I think helps both the employer and the employee. Employers who commit wage theft pay penalties at a level that will prevent other employers from engaging in this business practice. It's really also designed to deter employers from engaging in unfortunate behavior.
Worked for a particular home care company for 3 years, caring for my clients in their homes, right up until the employer refused to pay me for my work. The company's name was Crystal Care. They were one of the largest home care companies in the state. In 2012, me and nearly 600 employees went 45 days with no pay when they kept telling us they were having money problems and they were trying to solve it.
I was a Lakeville Motor Express employee for 20 years. I was the #1 road driver. I worked 14 hours a day, and now it's all gone. The company locked the doors on us with no warning just 3 days before Thanksgiving. They didn't pay us for the last 2 weeks of work. Our health care insurance was canceled. I now owe more than $100,000 in medical bills because of my wife's illness. My wife and I were wondering where our next meal was coming from.
I was employed at Lakeville Motor Express for 17 years. I worked the last day that they locked down the place. That was on November the 19th. I spent my time to come there to move freight for them and do whatever they needed to be done. But they also stabbed me in the back by saying, okay, we shut it down. The day I left that building Saturday, they just locked the doors, didn't tell us anything, and I'm stuck without pay for 2 weeks, without pay for the time I gave them to do their job, to move their freight. I was there, like I said, for 17 years. I put my heart and soul into this job, and this is the way they treat me. That's wrong. That's like me taking something from you and not paying you, Mr. Chairman.
Yo trabajaba por 17 años en una lavandería.
I worked for 17 years in a laundromat.
Y yo sufrí robo de salario
I experienced wage theft there.
Hasta ahorita todavía me siguen debiendo y es difícil para mí.
Today, I'm still owed wages, and this has been a hardship for me.
Y para mi familia, porque tengo hijos también que mantener y me gustaría que pasara para que a mí, para lo que me está pasando a mí no le pase a otras personas.
This has been a hardship for me and my family, and I hope that this bill can pass so that what happened to me doesn't happen to my children too.
It's pretty easy to get away with wage theft in Minnesota. In this case, this employer got months of free labor from hardworking, eager young men. He was, meanwhile, depositing money that he was getting from clients and never paid his employees a dime. And I also learned that if you want to get away with wage theft, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is not answer texts, not answer phone calls, and not answer the door when someone comes knocking, and eventually they'll go away. It's a pretty good business model if you have no scruples. So I know that there's a lot of pain in this room, and I just wanted to say that, like I said, Ben was the only employee of the 5 that got paid. I think that we're probably talking $20,000 at least of lost wages.
In the construction industry, it's a well-known fact that there are companies that skirt the laws in order to improve bottom lines. While most businesses, such as mine, we care about our employees. We try to follow the laws, and there are some who deliberately game that system to gain an advantage in the marketplace. They do this by paying cash, refusing overtime, and sometimes just flat out not paying their employees. Often in my industry, we'll see sizable crews of drywallers working for some of these companies that we've become a little bit more aware of. Yet if their books are looked at, they have 3 or 4 employees and a lot of independent contractors. These illegal practices are bad for everybody. If one of these workers gets hurt, there's no work comp coverage to protect them. If one of them has no more work, there's no unemployment because they're self-employed.
And I'm here today in opposition to this bill because it goes too far. As someone who does staffing and as a vice chair of the Staffing Association, our members employ roughly 60,000 people each week in the state of Minnesota. We are a bridge to long-term employment. Our concern with this bill is that it will prevent people from getting jobs. Number one, the requirement to take and get a signature from everyone. That requires each one of these people who are going out on jobs, not necessarily coming into our offices, to be able to print off something, sign it, and send it back. Most people in these situations do not have that means or capacity to do so. They often apply to jobs by their cell phone. And this bill does not keep pace with the nature of the contingent workforce.
Wage theft is terrible. Wage theft is terrible. And I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to hear the stories that we've heard today. For folks who are new to the chamber, I can't turn my back to look at you and say thanks, but I genuinely mean it. Thank you to the folks who testified for sharing your voice and putting a face to the terrible stories we hear. Theft is theft. Wage theft is terrible, and it should not occur. On the second question, Mr. Chairman and members, is Senate File 1329 a bill that should become law? Respectfully, the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce thinks no, that there are too many flaws in this bill for it to become law. Given the nature of the hearing, Mr. Chairman, to achieve the goal of raising awareness of this important topic of wage theft, I don't think it'd be appropriate for me to go through line by line and point out the many flaws, but at a headline level, there are so many burdens put upon good businesses that are doing the right thing, that are paying their employees, that we don't think this bill is good policy.
It is our position that current law already provides remedies in the case of an employer being guilty of wage theft. And while this legislation seeks to address the bad actors, unfortunately impacts all actors and will result in significant unintended consequences.